Welcome, everybody, back to another video on Cracked Wide Open. Thank you so much for being here. I'm trying a new layout, so give me just a second, please, and let everybody stroll in. See if I can figure this out. It's kind of a new layout. Let's see if it works. Oh, there we go. Well, welcome back to my channel, and thank you so much for tuning in to another video on Cracked Wide Open. I'm Star. And some time ago, I had put up a video and I was discussing the chakras, and we learned about 7 of them. There are much more than 7, but I left it to a 7, which was the basic minimum that I thought was good for a video. So I gave you the basic functioning, the location, and how they operated, right? And if you've not seen that video yet, I will link it below in the description or the tag section. So check that out if you would like. Each video I want to, my intention is to build upon it so that each other kind of assists the latter one with a better understanding of these principles and systems within and around our bodies that I want to talk about. So again, welcome for being here. I appreciate you guys so much. My goal here is that whatever I learn through wisdom, I want to share and pass on to another. If you're ready for the information, then you'll know what to do and it'll mean something to you. And if you're not and you just listen, you'll store it for later, right? So nothing is really required of you, just to really just sit back and listen and let the brain interpret the information and store it for later use, or maybe tomorrow, or maybe something that's already occurred, depending on where your journey is already in your life, right? Those who are not ready are just not ready yet. That's not a problem. It's not bad, good, or indifferent. They're just not ready yet. They're on their own journey, right? Hello, video. Thank you for stopping in. I appreciate you. However, those of you that are ready, this will assist you in your ascension and your consciousness if you will allow it, okay? So today I want to talk about kind of expanding on that chakra video that I was talking about, right? So let me take a drink really quick. Thank you. I would say many of today's scientific discoveries confirm that we are more than just our physical body, right? However, these other aspects of ourselves that make us, you know, who we are, remain a mystery to science, right? Energy, by its very nature, is constantly moving, changing, contracting, expanding, clogging up, getting congested, and then it's released, right, to a free flow of energy and stream. So while these energies that surround our bodies is very much a reflection of who we are, right, as well as our state of well-being and on what levels we are at, okay? And that's why I think it's really important. If you haven't seen the last video, be sure and check it out, talking about the 7 chakras. People pronounce them in different ways. You can pronounce them any way you want. They're an energy pathway system. So I want to discuss an extension of that video, and that video will help you to understand this video, right? So emotional, physical, and mental and spirit, right? If you see all the information that I give you here, it's intended to provide you with a means to discover more about yourself by the understanding of using these energetic fields of the human body, your auras, and your chakras, right? Or chakras, however you want to say it. It's okay with me. I don't mind. The human aura is a field of energy, right? It's encapsulating the body, right? It constantly ebbs and flows. That's why you always see me rocking. And if I'm standing, I'm usually swaying back and forth, because that's that ebb and flow. That's that vibration. That's that frequency. That's that intensity that I'm feeling within my body, right? And based on where you are and what level you're on is how intense or your fields are. Okay, I'm just going to leave it at that. So the human aura, again, is a field of energy, right? And it encapsulates this body, right? It's constantly moving in and out. If you want to think about it, you can think about it as your breath. Every time you breathe in, every time you breathe out, that's the ebb and the flow, right? Without breath, you don't have life, right? So it's forever moving, moment by moment, expanding your lungs, just like your lungs expand, contracting when you let out your breath, right? It changes in intensity and vibration. Vibrancy, let's just say, we'll use that word, vibrancy. And because the vibration, it can change in too, but that would fall under the intensity of your vibration, right? So each person's aura is, it's unique in size and color and quality. That's number one. Number two, the aura from one person to another person is radically different. Okay, there are 7 distinct layers of your auras. I'm going to talk about them tonight. I'm going to just, how do I say that, Spirit? Okay. So some of the healing that I provide to clients, let's just say, I have the ability to tap into different layers, auric layers, and experience them. And when they ask me, how do you experience them? I experience them through sense and feel, right? And I do that by quality of the vibration, the intensity of the vibration, and if I can detect and sense and feel all of those things, right, that are resonating, right? The quality of the vibration, the intensity of the vibration, the color of the vibration, and then I can see and sense it, not with the physical eye, like you're thinking, but the mind's eye, right? And then the vibration and the feeling of the resonance that I feel when I'm treating the client, I see in my mind's eye. So I know if the quality of the vibration and intensity and the sense and the color that I'm experiencing with the client is either high vibration with reverberating on a very high quality level of positivity, and flow. So when you think about that in life, everything has an opposite, right? Because we wouldn't know an opposite if it didn't. Dark, light, yes, no, right? So if a client is vibrating or resonating and their quality of vibration or their color of their aura can do just the opposite, lack of vibration, zero quality to it, no resonation. These energy fields, which are in that sense, are blocked. They're weak in resonance and intensity. And to me, as an energetic psychic healer, I'm highly sensitive to that. And so when I do Reiki or when I provide a treatment to a client, I have the ability in the mind's eye, not only in the mind's eye, but in my feeling inside my body, Spirit showing me colors, vibrations, how strong they are, what the intensity is, what the quality is. Does it stop? Does it go? Is there any at all, right? And generally, these are related to the chakra video that I spoke about as well. And that's why it's important to go back and look at that. Even without this uncommon ability to have some sort of a sensitive psychic healing abilities, right? You will still have some understanding of the different roles of each level and how they can play and give us a greater insight into our own lives, and how to how the past can impact our current health and well-being. Okay, so that's number 2. I know number 2 was kind of long, but if you need to go back, just rewind and go back and look at it again, okay, and listen to it again, because it's a mouthful, I know, and I'm on the fly, and I don't want to. I don't even, once it's gone, and that's why I ask Spirit to guide me, right? I'm not the teacher here. Spirit's the teacher. I'm just the vehicle, right? So I want to talk about the first. There's 7 layers. But let's talk about 3 of the layers closest. The physical body are the most. I'd have to say those are the most readily seen by energetic healers, psychic, tarot readers, anyone that is able to pick up on the energetic field, the invisible energetic field, and able to see and sense those things, right? So the 3 layers closest the physical body are those, and those are the most readily seen. So keep that in mind as number 3. And the energy layers that are furthest away from the body is the less dense it is. And that makes those layers a little more difficult to see and to feel. I can perceive those energies and I can feel them, and I perceive them though in my mind's eye, right? It's a sensing rather than a seeing physically. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm going to give you the 7 layers that there is. There's the physical auric body, the etheric aurical body, there's the vital aurical body, the astral aurical body, the lower mental aurical body, the higher mental aurical body, and then the spiritual auric body. Okay, 7 of them. Now, people have asked me all the time, because I have made statements about different things that I just spoke about before, but not on this platform, right? Not on this topic, not on this specific video, but they'll ask the questions about them. What do those layers do? How come there's 7? How come you talked about 7 chakras? Well, there's 7 days of the week. It took 7 days to create the earth. God rested on the 8th, right? There's 7 primary colors, right? I mean, the list goes on and on and on. 7's a primary color. It's God's number, and God's a Pisces. So I don't know if you follow astrology, but you could Google it and see. There's a reason that there's 7. It takes 7 years for each chakra to open up and develop. So by the time you hit your mid-40s, your crown is open. Right? That's why it's a process that you build upon one another. That's why these videos will be important, to build upon one another. And if you go, well, I don't know what she's talking about there. I understood the last one, but I don't understand this one. That's okay. Don't stress it. Just store the information. Will just be stored in the Broca center of the brain. And you will use it when the time is right. So, excuse me, it's really, this weather's been crazy. It's been super, super hot up at like 104, 105, and then now it's back down into the 70s, and it's windy. My allergies are crazy, Crazy. So let's talk about the first one, the physical layer, number one. It's closest to the body. It's the first layer. And this is why I talked about earlier that a healer can usually see or sense that, right? He can walk into a room and see a person's aura, right? They can see it and sense it, and they can sense the vibrational tone. Let's just say, you know how people say, set the tone. They can feel the tone of it, the vibrational intensity, right? So it is the first one is the closest to the body. It's the first layer. It follows the shape of your body. It's uniform in nature, and there's about 4 to 8 inches in depth, right? And I mean, it's amazing. I forget the name of I can't remember the name. They can take a picture and they can actually see it. And there's a specific name for that type of photography, and I don't recall it. So I have to apologize for that. Please forgive me. So this is going to follow your body by nature, right? Uniformly around your fingers, around your toes, right? About 4 to 8 inches. Okay. And there's irregularities in shape and size and color of this band of energy, and it can be okay. I'm listening. It can be an indicator of an injury or a problem with the physical body in a specific area. So if you want to remember it like that, you can remember number one, first defense. It's the first thing your body tells you or goes out of whack or offline if there's something going on in your physical body. Number one. That's easy to remember, right? The second one is the etheric oracle body. And this aura layer, it reflects the I'm trying to say it in layman's terms, because if I don't, not saying that anybody is dumb or stupid or simplex or anything like that. I'm just, because I want people to understand it as simple as possible. I don't want to make it like a fucking cat and mouse game and you're trying to find the answers to. I want to give them to you, right? So the etheric body is this layer reflects the health and the condition of your body. Example, let's use runners, maybe athletes, right? They have a really strong focus on their bodies, right? So they usually have a really strong etheric field, right? But the opposite is true too. If you don't have a strong focus on your body, your diet isn't good, you don't exercise, you don't move the energy around, you experience pain in the body. And that's a reflection of scattered energy in that layer, right? Excuse me, I don't know why the fuck I said that. And this layer is about 2 to 3 inches away from the skin. It's like if you put your hand by a stove and you go, oh, that's hot. Its pain is experienced in the body. It's reflected there by that scattered energy in this layer. Okay, that's number 2. Number 3 is the vital auric body. That's what I call it. Okay, that body is, it regulates. I'm not going to say it that way, Spirit. I don't want to say it that way. This layer, this body relates to our physical vitality, liveliness, Woo, right? Liveliness, related to the amount of vigor, luster, that you're able to approach life with, right? Clear, strong direction, right? That layer would be very, very strong, right? That would be good levels of physical energy, and it would be present, right? Because it would show that you're able to cope with whatever arises, life's demands, right? The rat race of life, right? But the opposite here again is true. If you feel sluggish, run down, that field of energy may be depleted. Not that it's gone, just depleted, like you've used up. Like if you think about it, like when you eat something because you're hungry, right? You take a quick carb because you want to re-energize yourself with it. It's quick, it's fast, right? If you feel sluggish, run down, this field of energy may feel depleted like that, like you're reaching for that carb, right? Or it can be, backed up, congested, slowed down, weaker, right? And that's the vital auric body, and it relates to your physical vitality. If you are positive and you are looking at life as liveliness and vitality, you're no longer decaying, right? If you let go of suffering and the ego dies and you have an awakening, now you are living. Now you are really living, right? In your soul's sovereignty, right? So that's a vital auric body that really relates to you physically. And I see those layers intensely. Even sometimes when I walk into a room, I just could put my arm on someone's shoulder. I right away see the first layer, but I could just put my arm on their shoulder and I can tell you what kind of day they're having, not their specifics, but their mood, how they're sensing and feeling, how their auric bodies are responding, and what they are showing me by quality, intensity, hot, cold. Temperatures play a huge role, right? Huge. If you have questions, please leave them. Hello, PJ, my darling love. I love you, New York, my darling. Now, the next layer is the astral auric body. Okay. And this is important because this is how we relate to others. Primarily interactions. When you feel a positive feeling of emotions, let's say safety, well-being, safe, right? The colors of that field will typically be bright, vibrant, clear. This field influences your decision-making. Now, if you have a negative feeling in that field, not feeling emotionally safe, let's say, that would cause a darker, muddier, less vibrant color, intensity, and vibration in that field, right? We are energetic beings having a human experience in this world, and you pick up all of these messages from the collective just by walking in the room or being with someone, by the very essence of your energetic field, and you just don't know it. Right? And so this will help you to navigate some things. I'm sure, have you ever observed like the mood changing in some situation or in someone just drastically when a particular person entered the room? I'm sure you've seen that. I'm sure you've experienced that, right? It's people say to me, I don't know what it is, but you walk in the room and it's like, ooh, it's like water, man. It's like a wave came in and it's just settled and it is peace. And it's like, it is so goddamn calm. And they're like, what's going on? And I have to then speak up I don't have to announce it prior to that, but I have to then say something because by the very essence of me being in their presence, I could awaken them. But I don't push that upon anybody. I just allow ebb and flow to be what be, right? I no longer have an agenda, and I just respect them with love and treat them with love, right? And if they ask me, I answer their questions as best I can. So this astral auric body that we have, that is how we relate to other people. That is your primary interaction with other people. If you're having a a positive interaction or feeling and of emotions with another person, and that person makes you feel loved, and they make you feel warm and gooey, right? And safe. That field is lit up like a Christmas tree, so vibrant and so clear and so bright, and vibrates on a resonance that is anything is possible, right? But you do have duality and polarities. Anytime you have a feeling of negativity and you do not emotionally really feel safe in your environment, and someone doesn't make you emotionally heard, and you're set aside, and you have all these negative feelings, right? That's feeling not emotionally safe. That's going to cause a muddier, less vibrant, less intensity in that field. That astral field is just going to be mudded up. What did I call it the other day? Mucked up. I said it's just mucked up because I didn't want to use the F word. And she said, I don't know what you did, but I could feel something like you pulled something out like a string. I said it was all mucked up. It was all mucked up in there. And so I just unmucked it, right? So that's why I want you to understand how important these fields are, right? That's why I want you to understand that. The lower mental, I sometimes will call that different things, but here I won't, right? The upper and the lower minds are sometimes viewed as two aspects of a single layer, right? You need to, I know it's a lot to understand, but the upper and the lower middle. Remember, I would tell you guys in my live videos, there's a higher level, and there's a mid mind, and there's a lower mind, right? There's a reason I said that, because the lower mental, the monkey mind, I sometimes referred to it as, right? The egoic mind, I sometimes referred to it as that, but I'm not speaking of that in this instance, right? I'm saying the lower mental mind, the auric mental body, the upper and lower of those fields are sometimes viewed as two aspects of a single layer, right? And the lower would be more to do with, what can I say? Consciousness, intellectual abilities. And the upper level is having to do with our higher mental capabilities, of which we may be less aware of. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. The lower mind, the auric body, relates to our everyday intellectual capacities and activities, what you do on a mundane, everyday basis, right? And the higher auric body, which is the next one I'll speak of, is talking about these layers we access, the higher intellectual knowledge. What is the knowledge? How do I say that, Spirit? Wisdom. Information that's available to you from the collective consciousness. Example. You want me to give an example? Okay. See, she's got me speaking before I even know what I'm going to say, because there's no preconceived shit in my head, right? So the only I'm trying to think, what example can I give them for crying out loud? Okay, so this is the only one I really got. An idea that quickly came to me, right? I was sitting and I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't doing anything. I don't know if I was cutting an onion. That's how irrelevant the activity I was doing was, right? And all of a sudden, this spark of an idea came in, and it was like, holy crud, how come I never thought of that before? And where did that come from? Number one, right? And before I knew it, it had manifested in my reality. That's the only example I can give, right? That's the only example I can give. The muse of creativity, that's what I'm going to call it. Because when this aura is developed through increased awareness, personal growth, development, you'll have creative visualization. It's extremely powerful, and it places it's like connecting to your life's purpose. That's what it is. That's how powerful it is. Strong, balanced, perceptive perspective on your life, right? That's what it is. It's you in your sovereignty, standing up in your power, being the being that you were put here to be, right? Your soul, sitting in the seat of your soul, right? Oh God, that's so beautiful. And I want everybody to experience that. That's why I'm sharing. This was given to me for free, and it's for free for you guys too. So, come on. I have never in the whole time I've been alive, and I'm not telling you how old, I never realized what humility and gratitude really meant. But I do now, and I have for what's today? It'll be 2 years and 4 months on the 28th. So not long. So I understand what I'm trying to teach you is difficult, and that's why I'm doing it the way I'm doing it. I don't have all the experiences that all these other spiritual teachers and gurus do. And God says that's just your egoic mind telling you you don't measure up. You're just as spiritual and just as smart as they are. It's a duality. It's an illusion or a delusion. And as soon as you give up the illusion or delusion, your egoic mind dies. So it's quite beautiful. So I want everyone to experience this, right? So the next one is your spiritual auric body. That's your connection to the divine, to the source, to the collective consciousness. Do you guys remember me saying to you, if you knew what was coming towards you intuitively before it came, what would you do with that kind of information? That's my spiritual egoic. I was going to say egoric because I'm thinking of Igor on the Addams Family for some reason. I don't know why. But the spiritual auric body is what I'm talking about. Why am I thinking about him, spirit? That is your connection to the source. If you call it God, my creator, source, whatever you call it, it's okay. Doesn't matter. But it's a connection, direct connection to your source. And not only is it a direct connection to your source, right? The very first thing you'll learn is that there is no separation. That is an illusion of the mind. You, me, the fence post, and any other living being are one. We are all one. There's no separation, right? And when you realize that, then you will feel the collective consciousness around you of others. That's why we call it collective. It's a whole bunch of people, right? You just think of a whole bunch of people in a circle holding hands. One of the visions I have on a regular basis is pure darkness, but in the darkness, I see what the only way I could explain it was little LED lights, right? That were in a circle motion, and they were at a distance from what I could see. And as I continued with my meditation, they became closer and closer and closer. And it was a bunch of lights that seemed to be hanging on to one another in a circle, right? That is me connecting with my spiritual auric body, my creator, right? To my source, to the collective. That's how sparks of ideas came to me. And I'm like, where the hell did that come from, right? It is though this auric field that we are connected to, you understand, this field connects me to you, to her, to him, to the fence post, to the tree, to the dog, to the cat, to any other human sentinel being that's living and breathing, right? Connecting me to all living things. That's beautiful, right? This layer is considered to be the most intense of all layers, right? It is thought it is difficult. And I don't, I have to agree on some level, and it might be the way I'm perceiving it because of the way I had my awakening, right? I don't think they consider it to be the most intense layer to what's the word I want to use, Spirit? To disentangle for a client. This layer is considered to be so intense that sometimes they even think that it's thought to be diffused through the crown chakra, the soft spot that you had when you were a baby, right? And they say that very few healers and people can claim to see or sense this level of the aura. I can see not only their crown, but their star chakra and beyond. And I don't see it. It's not me, right? It's consciousness just using me as a vehicle to assist other beings, right? And when I assist other beings, regardless of what it is, if I see you broke down on the side of the road and you have a flat tire and I see you and I stop, I'm assisting you, right? Same thing, just different thing I'm assisting you with. All living things, right, are embedded with this energy. You have to remember that. Our auras are made up of constant, just like I said, emotions, constant movement, our mental and physical state, based on our mental and physical state. Our auras also, I'm trying to think of another way I could put it for you guys. Do you guys have any questions, or do you understand what I'm saying? When clarity comes, clarity will come. That's why they call it awareness, right? They don't say, hey, I have awareness because they're trying to be a smart aleck, right? They say, I have awareness because they didn't know before, and now they know. And so now they have some awareness or some enlightenment to a situation that they didn't before. And that's why I say things are not good, bad, or indifferent. It's only what you tell yourself is true, right? And these auras, depending on the constant flowing that's going into you, because it is constant, it's as constant as the breath you take, right? They change according to your moods. They change according to your emotions, according to your mental, according to your physical state and status, right? If you tell someone, how many of you can raise your hand and say, I've seen this? Have you, husbands, raise your hand. How many times have you asked your wife, hey, how are you? I'm fine. And you know goddamn well she's not fine, right? You know, right? You've picked up on her mental and her physical status and flow through energy, through sensory input. And how do you think you picked it up? Because you've lived with her for 10 years and you know her pattern? that plays an important role. Yes, you learn people's patterns. That's how people learn to pick at other people, because they learn how to push their buttons and get their goat going, right? It's not good, bad, or indifferent. Just don't allow it to happen, because all things are embedded. Do you hear me? Embedded. You can't get it out in all living things, right? All things are embedded with this energy. And if you observe it, or can observe it, or if you can't observe it, it doesn't matter. But if you're aware of the levels and you understand a little more about them, then you can learn to manipulate your life in a different way that's going to assist you. Let's say you have some anger that's built up and you don't understand where the anger's coming from. It's not yours. It's no one that you could. My nose is itching from a medicine I took. I'm sorry. It's an allergy medicine. I'm never going to take it again. And I'm still sniffling and my nose is itching like crazy. So someone's getting money too, or I'm getting money. I don't know. Now I forgot what I was saying. Shit. Can you remind me? What was I saying? Spirit. Say you're angry and you have written down everything you could think about that's made you angry, and you can't come up with a reason for you to have the types of emotions or feelings that you're experiencing. You don't even know why you're having it. You've even said to yourself, I don't know why I'm so mad. I don't know why I'm so anxious. I don't know why I can't sleep. I don't know why I'm so angry. I don't know why I'm so this. I don't know why I'm so that, right? That's what I'm talking about. That could possibly be an energy that you're picking up on an auric field through sensory input, your auras and your chakra system that doesn't even belong to you. And so it's confusing. If I know for me, I've walked into a room and the life's been sucked right out of me by the tension in the room, right? Like I've walked into a room where someone was having a disagreement with one another, and I immediately turned around and went back out. How do you think I sensed that? I didn't hear anybody arguing. No one was crying. There was no voices being overly spoken. So I didn't know anyone was having a disagreement, but I certainly, when I walked in the room, knew it. And the minute I knew it, I turned my body around and walked out, because it was none of my business, right? It was none of my business. So really here, again, I want to reiterate to you guys, nothing is required of you, right? Just relax and listen to the information. Your body, your brain will integrate the information automatic. That's why you have a central nervous system. Did you ever see wolves? If you look at wild wolves in the wild, let's say, I forget what they call it. They call it something about something feasting. Something feasting. I don't remember the word they call it. But what they're doing is there could be game around them for eons, right? There's game everywhere for them. Yet they're sitting in a pack, laying down, doing nothing. And when you look at them, they're doing what? They're breathing. They're centering and grounding themselves. That's what they're doing. And they run in a pack. It's quite beautiful. That's why I tell you guys, if you go outside, take your shoes off. Stand in the sand, in the grass, on the cement for 10 minutes, and you will flip your central nervous system and your autonomic nervous system right back into homeostasis. Now, does that mean that you're going to be perfect when you do that? No. It's just like anything else. If I weigh 400 pounds and I've lost X amount of pounds because I changed my diet for 10 to 30 days, right? If I switched back and got rid of all the good things I was doing, would my progress continue? No, same principle. That's why I say these videos that I'm giving you guys, the way I'm giving them to you is to, one, it's the things I'm studying, the things that make me tick. I am a psychic, energetic healer. It's not me. It's not me. I'm just the vehicle. I'm like the car. That's what I keep telling everybody. It's like, I'm the car, right? I'm not anything special. I'm not unique. I'm not different. I'm not anything of the kind, right? I'm just as worthy, just as beautiful, just as special, just as loving, joyful, and peaceful as you are, right? And I deserve abundance, wealth, prosperity, unconditional love, joy, and happiness, right? All of the things. This medicine makes me dry and it's making me itch. Those are all the things I just mentioned to you that you're seeking. And when I say you're seeking them through people, places, and things. Because those people, those places, and those things are going to meet your needs and bring you satisfaction and bring you all those emotions that I just spoke of. The only problem with that is it's very short-lived, and then you're off seeking something else. It is not until you stop the seeking that the egoic mind dies. Right? You will no longer seek. That's why I tell you guys on a regular basis, I don't have an agenda. There's no agenda. I'm simply walking the truth of my soul's path, right? And if it means I'm a little green behind the ears and I'm not as smart as the first person that went before me, or all those things that I could tell myself, those are simple illusions and delusions that my mind wants to stir up in me. And if I allow it, I could be down the rabbit hole, right? I could be down the rabbit hole shoveling shit. What's the point? What's the point? Put your hands up. And when I say this, if you leave a comment and say it's not easy, I'm gonna jump through my screen and I'm gonna give you 2 good whacks on your ass, right? Because I know it ain't easy. If you haven't seen any of my 30 videos on Cracked Wide Open, just go check them out. You'll see my pain. You'll see how easy it's not. And that's why if it was easy, everyone would be doing it, don't you think? Everyone. Why is it that you look around and there are not many awakened? Why? Because it's hard. It's hard. It's not that they don't want to. It's you have to be diligent, and depending on your circumstances and your journey, maybe it's just not their time yet. That's all. Doesn't make anything bad, good, or indifferent about it. It's only what I would say it is, or they would say it is, that makes it so. not fact. It's an illusion or a delusion. And as soon as you begin to realize it's an illusion and a delusion, the egoic mind dies. That you will no longer be run on the Judy Jetsons, the egoic mind. You'll be running yourself on your sovereignty free will, right? And you will, the more you can learn about your chakra systems and your egoic, or your, I don't know why that word keeps coming to my brain, because I'm dealing with someone that's got a lot of ego right now. I don't even know what I was saying. Mm-hmm. You have, well, here's the, okay, so that's a really good point, Moxie. What would be the point of holding on to that anger, my darling? What would be the point? Here's, I would do it because you, but you tell me why you are hanging on to it. Because anger is a really good one. And anger is the root of fear, anxiety, and so many other emotions and that's just a whole nother video, darling. So why are you hanging on to that? I'm barefoot all the time, me too. When does the clarity come? The clarity comes when you stop asking that question. Because the moment you ask that question, you're automatically telling consciousness you're missing something, you're seeking something. Personal relationships are extremely hard to walk away from. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. You don't have to tell me that. Mine was 31 years old, my relationship. So I get that firsthand. I get that. I was married for almost 30 years before I left. Personal relationships are very hard, but you have to remember the personal relationships that you currently have are the reason that you're going through the journey you're going through, because the relationship you have with spouse, family, significant other, friend, whomever, right, are an exact mirror of you. And whatever you have wrong with you, you reflect off them and accuse them of it being wrong with them. And yes, and that you have to make a choice, darling. Just make a choice. Do you have, I had to, this is what I had to do. And this was a tough one for me because of a couple reasons. And I'm just going to come clean because I'll feel a lot better if I do. My dad was so stubborn, very stubborn man. But yeah, if you knew the backstory about my dad, he never finished the 3rd grade. He was all self-taught, a man-made, right? Self-taught man that had 5 beautiful children that never wanted for anything in their entire upbringing with him, right? And alcoholic and an angry soul that had this big chip right here and that you just could never knock it off, right? And I, as a child, didn't know what that was. So that's my upbringing with a stubborn man. So I know for me, stubbornness was a big quality for me, right? I would like get my ass kicked and just keep going back in and get my ass kicked some more, right? And then I got to the point where I had to ask myself 2 questions. If I'm going to complain about the way another person treats me, let's say they hurt my feelings, they shut me down, they push me aside, they don't tell me the truth, and they're not emotionally available for me, and I let them get away with it. I really don't have any integrity or respect for myself. Honestly, because I just am allowing that to happen to me. And who in their right mind is going to do that right? Well, when I wasn't aware, you're going to do it because you're not aware you're even doing it. It's no fault of your own. You're not even aware. It's not until you have awareness that you'll become aware that you do it and that you are your own worst enemy, right? It sounds very familiar. Mm-hmm. So all of the things that you're talking about have to do with fear. And fear, there is so many emotions, so many. Anxiety, anger, all of it falls under fear. What is fear? False evidence appearing real. But you would swear to God it's real. And the only reason I can say that now and know, because I keep saying hindsight isn't 2020, is when I had my awakening in the very beginning. I remember coming to a point where I was extremely paranoid, right? I told my roommate at the time, I was still on the lake and I was living with Kelly, and I told her, I said, someone's watching me and they're flashing a light on the porch, and if I move to the back, they're putting a light on me in the back. And he come out on his front porch one time in the evening. It's like 2 in the freaking morning, right? And I literally had his porch, which is probably 12 feet long, right? Completely blocked off with boxes. I was that paranoid. I even called security and said, someone's stalking me. And it was nothing other than a collective paranoia that I had stored within one of my cells in my physical and psychological bodies. It wasn't even my energy, right? Because I've never done anything to make myself feel that kind of paranoia. But I was like, if this is what the drug addicts talk about when they're looking through the curtain trying to find the cops, this is like, oh my God, I'm going to die. I'm going to die because they're going to find me, and it's the end. It was just constant illusion that I had, and it was completely and utterly wrong. But at the time, I didn't know it. I remember calling my friend Michael, and I would say to him, I physically feel like someone's ripping the walls inside of me out, like they're spooning out a avocado or something, right? and that they were pulling it down like wallpaper, right? And that's when I was having those gut-wrenching paranoia feelings, and they were not mine. They were the collective that I picked up over a period of time, that caused me to go through that darkness. And so I keep telling you, you cannot get to the light unless you go through the dark. And so nothing is really required of you again. So if you forget what the layers are, that's my tummy growling. If you forget the layers, then go back and look at the layers again. Get yourself a simple book. Go look at your thrift store. They have tons of books on spirituality and chakras and auras and things like that for like $0.25, and you could pick them up. Some of the things I use to get myself into a Zen. Cheers, PJ. Thank you for stopping in, doll. I love you so much. Cheers. I do yoga. I self-love. And I'm not going to list off a bunch of things to you because it doesn't matter what I do to self-love myself. You have to do something, anything, to self-love yourself, and only you know what pleases you. And I want you to, two things I can say that would be really helpful is feel the softness of your skin. Allow the sensation of touch to resonate throughout your body. Allow your body and your central nervous system to pick that up. You know, like when, like I'll say, wow, look at my veins, how they're sticking out, and look how my muscles are getting stronger. And I will actually rub the muscle and feel my skin and love myself, right? Because no one's going to love me the way I want to be loved. They're just going to enhance love for me. They're not going to love me the way I want them to, right? And this, we are human creatures that want the scent of touch. That's why when I was in the field, I was like, I don't like wearing these gloves, and I know we're supposed to be garbed up with PE all the time, but every chance I could, I took my rubber gloves off and I touched the patient with my bare hands, because there's nothing greater than another's touch and love and support, right? Yes. Only self knows where it would be that you need to self-love. For me, it was baths and just simple stuff, yoga. But to get to the two things I think that would really help you is use your, I'm not even going to give you two things. I'm just going to say one thing. Use your 5 senses. Forget whatever you fucking know from the past, and forget whatever you think you know in the future, and just sit in the now and feel. Don't think. Don't think, because immediately you're going to think based on a habitual mind pattern you were raised with, and you'll be down the rabbit hole. And so that's easier said than done, I understand. So to help you with that, breathe, breathe. And music and water and nature and touch, you know. Put some headphones in and listen to something that makes you tick. Swim. I think PJ posted a picture on Facebook that's his happy place. He has this beautiful pool in the back of his house. I'm like, bitch, it's been 105, 106 here. How much would I love to jump in that pool? But it looked delicious, and he was loving himself. And I thought, that's beautiful. That's beautiful, because how many times, hand to God, do you say to mom, sister, friend, significant other, or whomever, I give to everybody else, but I don't do for myself? You might want to ask yourself, why? And it's a hard thing to do. So depending on your relationships that you have with other people, you may be dominated by their energies. Your aura is you may dominate their energy by your aura. That's why if you really go into depth about this over a period of time, if you live with an individual, you will pick up, just by sensory input and no fault of your own and no awareness of your own, the good, bad, or indifferent auric fields that the other person or entity or significant other, individual, whatever, pet, dog, tree is there and sending you, that doesn't have your best interest at heart, right? And you might not even be aware of it, but that's why I was talking about earlier. You might be upset about something and you don't even know why you're upset. You'll go, I don't even know why I'm mad, or why I'm upset. I'm just upset, right? You don't know, because, and over a prolonged period of time, let's just say 30 years, those two energies of those two people, they no longer are two people. They're in a spirit realm. They have merged and integrated into one energetic field, and the one that had the most predominant auric field constant energy that was flowing to them that changed, right? I remember saying, shit, I could wake up feeling fabulous, but I have to base my mood on how you wake up every day. The only reason I would think something like that is because I had a trained thought of, you better not be in a good mood today because I don't know what side of bed they're going to get up on. That's ridiculous. And so that's the level that it'll take you, learning those things about yourself. But it has nothing to do with the other individual and everything to do with what you tolerated, because you're not honoring yourself. You're disrespecting yourself and not having any integrity within yourself to say, no, you can't treat me like that and get away with it. And if I don't know about it and you're harming me, then shame on them. Shame on them. Especially if they're aware of it. So, it's the tools I'm giving you are simply there to use as tools, not to wreak havoc in your life. They're just there to help you and assist you in your journey through life here. That's it. Nothing more. So if you have questions or if there's a topic you want to hear about, I try to put these up as I'm going through it. And I've been going through it. These energies are very intense. Jupiter went retrograde, yes, on the 21st. So I haven't done any astrology videos because the energies have been flowing and changing the planet's placement so rapidly that I was doing Vedic and Western, and it was like my head was spinning and I didn't know what was up. I didn't know if my butt was up or my butt was down. I'm like, okay, I got to walk away here because one, it's very different for me when I'm in like that kind of environment and others are learning and I know they're slumbering, right? It's like, I don't need to read 500 pages for you to tell me exactly what I could tell you right now in 5 minutes. And it doesn't mean I know shit. It just means I'm awake and spirit's giving me the information. And I can't shove that down people's throats. It doesn't work that way. And why would you want to anyway, right? That would be subjecting yourself on their psyche and pushing them to a limit they're not prepared for. That's totally disrespectful and dishonest. And it would be me, lack of ability to have any integrity for that person. I wouldn't care about them. I wouldn't respect them. And I certainly wouldn't give a shit what it caused them. I'd be like, next. It's like that bowling ball going down the lane and you're just knocking the pins over to the side, just trying to get to that one focus, right? I don't have that agenda anymore. I just, what is, and I am consciousness, therefore I am. I am the Bodhisattva. I'm consciousness. I don't know what else to say. I've told you guys that before, but I want to leave this video where it's at. I have a tendency to go off my rocker here sometimes because spirit just loves for me to share this information. And there's so much of it. And I want to put it in a place, in the format that allows you to build upon the last video. So I will post a link on what was the title? Something about the chakras, 7 chakras. I explained what they are, where they're at, what they do, and what happens if they're blocked. If you're looking for remote Reiki, I do remote sessions. I can do it on Zoom too, or a live session with you. Because of the COVID-19, under the state of California, the business licenses, they're not allowing us to have circles. And they're not allowing us to have clients like that. So for now, they're saying we have to do remote, which it doesn't matter because it's the same. It works the same. Energy flows, right? You can ask lots of my clients. I have clients I have Hawaii, Arizona, Florida, Australia, and somewhere else. Some other city that I'm not, it's not real common city that you hear of all the time. It doesn't make any difference as long as you're there and you surrender and you're, with me and you allow the energy and you open your heart up to receive. You will. And what's so beautiful about it is when I do it with people, they'll be like, oh, I didn't feel anything, man. I'm like, oh, shit. Because I don't want people to tell me they felt something when they didn't, right? I want them to be totally honest with me because I know how it works, right? And so if they're scared because they don't want to say anything, I try to reassure them as best I can. Please, I don't care. You're not going to hurt my feelings, right? You're not going to hurt my feelings. If anything, you're going to teach me. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. So the honesty that you're having with me is totally, totally respected, appreciated, and I'm humbled for, right? And that's where I'm coming from. And so sometimes they think they're hurting my feelings and they're not. And then what's so great about it is I'll apologize and I'll say, well, maybe you won't feel it, today, or maybe you've already felt this, or I don't know, whatever the situation is where I'm discussing it and whatever spirit tells me to say or speak with them about. But they'll contact me a week later, sometimes even a month later. And that's when it happened. And that's what I told them. I tell you in the beginning before I even do the treatment, but they forget that. It's kind of like when you do your housework, rules and regulations and all that stuff on YouTube, right? People forget all that mumbo jumbo because they've heard it so many times. That's like, okay, hurry up, get it over with, right? So they didn't even really hear that when you explain it in the beginning, because some people it goes from 0 to infinity based on the person, how open and perceptive they are to change and how willing they are to the energy that I'm providing. And it's not me. I'm just putting my hands there. Spirit, it's spirit. So if you don't think spirit's powerful to go through the screen, yeah, she is. I've stopped bleeding, not only with my friend Denise, but James. When he had surgery last year. I've done cataracts on my dog. I've done horses where they had a really bad band and they were going to put her down. They're riding her. I've done cats. I've done people. I should put up my Facebook and let people just put up their, I don't even know what you call them. What would you call them? I don't know. I don't know what you would call them. But I should do it. I should put that up because it would promote my healing center. And with the COVID-19, the way that it is, that's what it is. Yes, testimony. Is that what it is? Is that what it is? See? I've had so many of my clients say, when are you going to put that up so we can give you a testimony? I mean, I have a dog. I was trying to think how long she's been my client. It's got to be at least 2 years, at least. And she does rescues for animals, and she has a really large shepherd. And I've been treating her dog for 2 years, and I'm probably, according to her, and that's what I keep telling her, it's not me. My medicine maybe is what's keeping him going and alive. I don't know. But I know it's consciousness and the remote energy that I send to him, right? She's a beautiful dog, and she's still kicking ass and taking names. So I'm happy about it. They'll ask me all the time, when are you going to put something up? And that's where my fear, Moxie, do you hear this? My fear gets into my head that I'm not going to measure up to the others that do this, right? Or a fear of succeeding. Just putting it out there. As raw as it is, because I am going through this as we speak. So there's no reason for me to blow smoke up anybody's ass about it, right? There's none whatsoever. It would not behoove me, you, or the fence post to do that. So I don't see the benefit or the even the need. If you have questions and you want to know about some information, this girl has been studying. This girl's been reading, and this girl's pretty smart. I'm not saying I'm not trying to toot my own. Yes, I am. I'm going to toot my own goddamn horn. I have quite a lot of extensive medical knowledge behind this butt. And not as just the book girl that read all the books and got all the degrees and everything like that, but the girl that was in the trenches bleeding with the patients, right? That's where you get the most experience. It doesn't make any difference. I could have been person mopping the floor, right? Or just emptying the dirty damn bedpans. It didn't make a difference. But that type of environment over a 40-year period kind of rubs off on you. You know what I'm saying? So it's by I can't stop caring and loving people now. I eat, breathe, and sleep nurse, healer, teacher, sage, shaman, guru, whatever you feel you need to label me as, that's, you go right ahead. But I am, therefore I am, and that's it. Consciousness. Right? I'm no different than you. I am the student, therefore you are the teacher and you've appeared. Or I'm the teacher and you're the student and you've appeared. Which is it? Thank you guys so much. Look at that. 116 and 6 people in the room and 6 likes. So that's 11666. Synchronicity. Good. I'm glad. Do me a solid if any of this does resonate with you. And even if it doesn't, okay, do not kick yourself in the ass about it. It's just like I said, there is a Baraka center in your brain that will store that information. Your brain will process it just like it's normally does when you're driving your car and shit's happening all around you. You're integrating and processing that sensory input. So if you put some headphones on and you listen to what I said to you, that information will be stored right here in the Baraka Center. And when the time is right, she's going to dial that shit in, baby. Bam, she's going to get you. And you'll go, oh, goddamn, that's where that came from. I understand. And that, my friend, is what I call magic. That's what I call magic. Right? I'll be in the grocery store. I was telling my friend Denise, because she's the one person, and let me just give her a shout out because God bless her soul. This woman has the patience of a saint, number one, and she's younger than I, and I don't think she'd mind me saying that. And she's pushed me into out of my comfort zone, nothing that I haven't allowed, right? And has taught me some grave lessons. And I'm only going to use one as an example because it's kind of personal and I don't want to share my friend's personal information with you because it's fucking personal and she's my friend, right? But it's my information that I'm going to share so she wouldn't get upset about this. I had a friend one time, her name was Patty, and I absolutely adored her, right? Absolutely adored her. And she had given me things over a period of time, and I probably knew her about 5 or 6 years, right? And we had a falling out, and over a period of that 5 or 6 years, she had given me so many nice things, letters and cards and little trinkets and things, where we had gone. And I took everything she gave me in a box and took it to her doorstep and rang the bell and ran like an MF. Hurt her so badly without any explanation, and wonder why somebody hurt me so badly without an explanation. It's called karma, right? And so Denise has taught me that. She has taught me that there's no reason for you to put a wall up and hurt her because someone's hurting you. It doesn't behoove you to do that. And you're only doing that to punish yourself. She doesn't know that, but you know it. And so it gave me an opportunity to grow leaps. So, my darling, namaste. I love you, my friend. I love you. Happy anniversary. Her and I have been conversing back and forth through emails for about 2 months. And she has been my saving grace and my rock. And everybody has problems, but everybody needs that touch. I can't touch her. I can't hug her and give her my gratification and squeeze her and tell her how grateful I am because she doesn't live in this state, right? So someday I'll be able to give her a hug and give her a proper thank you. But for now, thank you. And my friend PJ has done the same. He's reached out to me. He's said things to me. And my friend James, and I love you. And James is in Australia. PJ's in New York. Denise is in Florida. So it's not like I can just go to their house and knock on their door, right? And for me to put, I've known James the longest. I'll have to ask him if he has my cell number. I don't even think he does, but Denise does. And, she seems to be my tribe as far as vibrating on the level that I am, right? Where she has no agenda. Her goal is to love unconditionally as James, and it's strange the way that she has come into my environment, and I've become aware of it. And it's not because of any other thing other than it's a lesson she's been meant to do. It was meant to happen, and so it is. And so I could have done one or two things. I could have ran like an MF with like what I did with Patty and destroy a friendship that's just beginning to really blossom. Like, I really could call her my friend, and you have no idea how long it's been since I've been able to call someone a friend. So that means a lot to me, right? James, he's like family, right? PJ's like family. Denise now is family. She's not just a friend, she's family. So I've let her in. I let her in because you get to a point where you have to let somebody in, and I really appreciate her. She has shown me the most kindness, the most love, the most unconditional compassion, and taught me so many lessons that I mirrored right off of her. Bam, 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 box. And then I had to sit there and dig all the shit out of the box and say, God damn it, I did that, I did that, I did that, I did that, I did that. Shit. You still running, you still blocking, you still putting up a wall. You better put that shit down. Kick it to the curb. And that's what I did. See, now that's behavior. Now I'm doing something about that, baby. So that is what I can't do by myself, we do together, right? And so I keep saying, where one or two is, there she is in the midst, right? And if it means it's through a friend, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I love it. And I'm so damn happy about it. So I made the right decision, and I'm so proud of myself that I had the ability to say, listen, I apologize for my behavior. I don't know how to play nice with girls because I never had any girlfriends growing up. And the one time I can remember being invited to girls just to paint, we were going to paint rocks, and I was a grown adult. I did everything I could not to paint a goddamn rock. Why? To punish myself. Yeah, sure did. Yes, I did. I'm not going to lie about it. Nope, 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 nope. Taught me a huge lesson. So I can either sit there and paint rocks with Denise and see what ebbs and flows, metaphorically speaking, right? And lay my shit down, my wall, and allow her to be my friend and receive her unconditional love because she has no agenda. None. Zip. Zero. She's awakened. And God damn it, I wish she lived in my city so that I could knock on her door, right? Because it would be great to have somebody doing it. So if any of the things that I say to you, these are all experiences I'm having. They didn't come out of a book. I didn't write them down. I don't have a piece of paper somewhere that I'm doing what do you call that? A script. I don't have a script. I don't have an agenda. I don't care how many subscribers I have. I don't care how many likes there is. I don't care how many comment. I don't care. Okay? The only thing I care about is this. The ones that need to hear the message, hear it. And that see the authenticity within me and say, that girl is an old school girl. She's got some wisdom. She's an old soul. She's been around. And maybe I should just listen. And even if I don't understand what she's saying right now, when I am ready, I'll have the information I need because she's arming me with it. If I had someone to do that for me, I'd be like, can you tell me some more, please? I'd be like a fucking dog at a pet store, sitting in the window, waiting for you to take its ass home. So I've been on here an hour and a half. These are not professional. I do apologize to you. So if you're looking for a profession, maybe you need to go find another spiritual teacher on another channel. I am not a blow smoke up your ass kind of girl. I don't know diddly about a computer, and I don't write scripts, and I go off the fly, and I allow my intuition and spirit to use me as a channel, and I speak to you, with you, through me. Spirit does. Spirit speaks through me to you, right? I am just the vehicle in which she uses. I gotta go.